What happens when you put the king of index funds head to head with a high octane income portfolio that churns out monthly dividends like clockwork? Welcome to the ultimate passive income showdown.
We're here for a showdown.
A series of monthly updates as we review the head-to-head results of an income trio made up of MSTY, or better known as MSTY, SPYI, and QQQI versus the king of index funds, VOO. And this is real money in one of my real Roth IRAs that I track each month to see which strategy comes out on top after a full year. In my month one update, which you can find a link in the description down below, the income portfolio took an early lead, and at one point, it was up nearly 12%, looking like it might leave VOO in the dust.
Eat my stuff!
MSTY was flexing, but VOO was stretching in the corner like, don't worry, I'll catch up eventually. And by the end of the month, VOO had quietly closed the gap. The final result, both VOO and the income portfolio had great months, up 6.7% and 7.5% respectively, leading to a narrow win for the income portfolio, finishing $132 ahead of VOO. And then came month two. This time, things didn't just flip, they collapsed. VOO did its thing and posted a steady 1.8% gain. Meanwhile, the income portfolio, it crashed, down 5.2% during the second month. And the reason it performed so poorly was no fault of SPYI and QQQI, as they both finished the month up, with SPYI up 1.9% and QQQI up 1.7%. So that meant real bad news for MSTY. It cratered 11.6% in the second month and dragged the whole income portfolio down. So, is this just a bad month or a red flag for high yield strategies?
Kind of a red flag.
Let's break it down. Here's a quick refresher on the original allocation of the initial $16,949 invested in the income portfolio. 50% of the portfolio was invested in YieldMax's MSTY, which is a covered call ETF that is tied to the performance of MicroStrategy, which, by the way, officially changed their name to Strategy a few weeks back. 25% of the portfolio was invested in SPYI, which is Neos's S&P 500 high income ETF. And the final 25% was invested into QQQI, another Neos ETF, with that one being their NASDAQ 100 high income ETF. It's a blend of crypto adjacent volatility with MSTY, large cap stability with SPYI, and a tech fueled monthly income from QQQI. Or a better way to summarize could be chaos, consistency, and innovation blended into one high yield income portfolio.
How's your portfolio?
Despite the massive 1 month drop by MSTY, the income portfolio still did its job generating monthly cash flow. In the last month, the income portfolio brought in a total of $619 in distributions. MSTY received $521 over the last month, while SPYI and QQQI received $45 and $53 respectively. All of that was reinvested tax-free inside my Roth IRA into the same investments. Now, I know there are strategies out there where investors will take their distributions from investments like MSTY and then buy other investments like VOO, which could be a solid strategy. But for the purpose of this series, we are just reinvesting those distributions back into the existing ETFs. For VOO, its next distribution won't be until early October, since it pays those out on a quarterly basis. So to summarize, yes, the income strategy is still paying monthly, but clearly those big distributions weren't nearly enough to offset the massive drop from MSTY over the last month. We discussed earlier that MSTY dropped 11.6% over the last month. But what happened? Well, it's pretty simple. Over the last month, strategy was down 13%. And remember that MSTY is tied to the movements of strategy stock price. When you factor in the distribution for MSTY, it did help lessen the pain for the month, but it's still ended the month down a whopping 11.6%.
Very ouch.
And with MSTY originally being 50% of the portfolio, it has the steering wheel, and this month it drove the performance straight into a ditch.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
The one position alone can really pull down the income portfolio's performance, even when SPYI and QQQI have a solid month of returns. So let's see where we are after 2 months in this showdown. After month one, VOO had grown to $18,083, which was a 6.7% return. And after month 2, VOO had a balance of $18,401, which was a 1.8% return for month 2, and a total return of 8.6% after 2 months. Now, let's take a look at the income portfolio's performance by month. After the first month, it had grown to a balance of $18,215, which was a very nice 7.5% gain. But after the big drop for MSTY in month 2, the balance now stands at $17,274, leaving the income portfolio only up 1.9% after 2 months. So in 30 days, VOO went from being behind $132 to being ahead by $1,128. That's almost a $1,300 swing in 30 days.
Oh, yikes.
So what can we take away from this showdown after 2 months? The swings in the income portfolio are going to be like riding on a roller coaster. You know, one of those wooden ones where you're not sure if it's thrilling or dangerous. Up 1 month and down the next.
I'm on a yo-yo.
That's even with SPYI and QQQI trying to even things out as stable income ETFs. MSTY and the underlying asset tracking of strategy stock is extremely volatile, which shouldn't be a surprise because we know that the beta for strategy stock is an incredible 3.77, which makes it by far the most volatile stock in the NASDAQ 100, with the next closest being Shopify at 2.63. So when investing in MSTY, you better buckle up and expect huge price swings.
You might want to buckle up, baby.
VOO just does what it does. Steady growth with very little drama, which is to be expected when it's tracking against 500 of the best companies in the U.S. So after 2 months, are you still riding with Team Income, high yield, and monthly payouts? Or are you switching to Team VOO, the slow, steady, and safe option? Also, what are your thoughts on taking the distributions from high-yielding assets like MSTY and buying more stable funds like VOO? Is that a good or bad idea? Drop a comment below. I'll read and respond to all of them. And if you're rethinking income ETFs after seeing that MSTY drop, hit that like button and subscribe to catch next month's update because this battle has a long way to go.
It ain't over yet.
If you missed the original video or the month 1 results where the income portfolio actually pulled ahead, that video is linked right here, and both will be in the description as well. As always, thanks for watching and hanging around to the end. Remember, I'm here to make content focused on your money and how to manage it best. See you in the next one.